我们之后要跟 RW 交手的话，主要是就我们不能打得特别急躁，要比较有规划的。RW 的话是打下路为主的，就是一般他们就是中野会帮下的次数会比较多。如果我们能限制他们中野的话，然后我们下路能取得优势的话，那我觉得我们应该可以赢下这场比赛。
But unfortunately, Chris, what we saw coming out from FPX in the last match was that RW, yes, you attacked their bottom lane, but then they just send everyone else into the bottom lane anyway.
Yeah, the thing that I actually like about hearing that from Crisp is that they kind of did focus the bottom lane in just a different style, you know, in a different way. They got an Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal, and they sat at mid lane and tried to bring the pressure of the entire SMLZ Kahlua duo to mid and just oppress them, you know, keep them mid, keep them unable to work. But what they forgot about was the Aatrox mid lane and the Singed top lane that were bodying everybody. So they were able to still carry that game through Rogue Warriors. And I don't know if FPX will change the strategy or if they think that'll still continue to work. I like the premise. The execution was well off, and I think what should change is the Lulu. I think they should actually get something different in that middle lane.
I mean, it makes sense if you have something like Lucian in the bottom lane or Kai'Sa. Lulu can protect that quite well. It doesn't buff up an Ezreal too much.
It's still okay with the Ezreal. I more want to see something more from Cool. You know, the one time that he hard carried a game, or the one time that FPX were able to beat WE, it was a Yasuo. You know, you get some big showing from Cool. Big carry, Zoe Yasuo style pick. He's able to carry with. And I think instead of doing that diffusal of bottom lane from Rogue Warriors, they should actually play around winning the game, not preventing their opponents from winning the game.
I mean, he even has a game on Cassiopeia, LeBlanc, and Aurelion Sol. Picked up the Galio once as well, so has shown that he can go to more than just the Lulu supports, can throw out other supports for FPX.
Yeah, absolutely. LeBlanc also one of those other ones that could potentially side lane. Galio, one of those champions that RNG have shown can 1-3-1 or 3-2 if they wanted to go towards a top laner. So there's options there. I personally want to see the mid lane change, though we don't know what FPX is thinking right now.
Well, FPX have diverse champion pools across all their members. I'm curious to see if they're going to change out their draft at all. Pulling another strategy. One thing's for certain, neither of these two teams have gone towards a funnel composition yet in the LPL, but they have some interesting ways of playing around the current meta, especially Rogue Warriors being the meta breakers from the Spring Split are having a good old time with the current picks that they can throw around the rip. First three bans coming out from FPX already a change. Lucian as well as Aatrox will hit the bench, with Fiddlesticks being their second ban. Nocturne, Alistar, and Rakan, the three bans from Rogue Warriors.
The Nocturne ban's definitely a respectful ban here from Rogue Warriors. Camille is the one that is gone. So whilst the Aurelia can be looked at here, there's a risk that they give over the Camille to their opponents. One thing that does need to be considered is that Singed works incredibly well against a Camille. Mouse just played it in that first game, so perhaps the risk is there and FPX don't want it.
Had a good game of the champion as well. Mouse played very well, but they don't. They want Talia first. That could be Signy's champion in the jungle, could still go into the mid lane for core, perhaps a support. That's a champion that we haven't seen FPX play yet.
I mean, now Aatrox is gone. Doinby's lost his mid lane signature champion, so we do have to see where he goes towards. Perhaps he just gets later priority in the draft. So for me, I'm looking at this. Camille's very good. You could look towards top laners, usually pick 4th and 5th. Don't, maybe the bottom lane.
Don't count out Doinby's Kled. That could be still thrown in there. He's played Cassiopeia as well. Vladimir is the first pick that comes out from Rogue Warriors besides the priority pick of Camille. Yet to see them play that champion either. Bottom lane or a mid lane pick, potentially into the top lane if Mouse fancies his chances with the champion. But Ashe as well as Tahm Kench. The next two lock-ins coming out for FPX.
Where there is Ashe, there is always Tahm Kench here in the LPL. We love them as a duo. So FPX will lock that one in for themselves. Now on the opposite side, Rogue Warriors. If that Vladimir was going towards the bottom lane, things will most likely change and you will most likely see that go to mid. And there is a chance you get some kind of aggressive AD down there in the duo. But we'll have to find out. SMLZ can do it all. He's got the donga. If you want to give him a donga.
Raise your dongas for SMLZ. But still yet to see it, as Mundo is their next pick in the first draft phase. That'll head into the top lane for Mouse. Second ban phase coming out for Rogue Warriors. We've already seen the bottom lane as well as a Talia, so they know that's either mid lane or jungle. Singed is their ban of choice.
The tanky Doc himself, so they're going to get rid of the Singe that we've seen Mundo do very well into, but it's definitely a compositional thing. They want to throw Gimgoon onto something different perhaps. force him onto the likes of that Shen. That may not be ideal for FPX's composition. We'll see where it continues. If another ban goes towards the top lane, then we'll know for certain that they're just trying to give Mouse a good time as much as they want to remove things from Gimgoon.
But Morgana bans coming out from FunPlus Phoenix. And the final ban from Rogue Warriors, attacking the top lane again. Gangplank being taken away from Gimgoon, a champion he's played twice already. Summer Split.
This is a composition to me where Cool could play anything he wants, actually. Now we're looking at it. We've got some magic damage in the jungle role for Sinyi, unless he is, of course, playing the Taliyah mid. But with the presumed jungle Taliyah, you've got the Ashe AD carry bottom lane, so you've got your 2 carries. Now you can play a Bruiser mid lane if you want. You can play a support mid lane again if you would rather. Of course, now the Karma is there. Lulu's still a possibility.
Is that going to be a mid lane Karma? Yet to see Rogue Warriors use the champion in the Summer Split, but nah! Locked in for Gimgoon in the top lane with Irelia being picked up as well. So Taliyah in the jungle, Cool picking up the Irelia mid lane. 957 would be so proud, so happy.
Yeah, 957's now got another partner in crime playing the very rarely seen champion.
Yes, please.
But you've revealed your hand.
Charge!
You give Rogue Warriors the opportunity to reveal their own.
Into the mid lane goes Kled. Karma will be the support pick of choice for Kahlua. Swap that around. Dr. Muller goes into the top lane against Nah. He's been enjoying these unorthodox bruises in the mid lane, Doinby.
He has, but the last time he played this one, I believe it was into an Akali, so it wasn't exactly your stock standard middle lane matchup regardless. But he's got a couple of games there on the Kled, though 2 this split, both against OMG. This time around, however, the thing I want to highlight the most is that Rogue Warriors, for their team composition, they saw an Ashe Tahm Kench locked in against the Vladimir, and they've said, all right, we're going to put a Karma down in this bottom lane. We're going to push really hard, and we're going to match the lane control that an Ashe wants to put out. We're going to make sure that we have strength in the 2v2, and the rest of the map can continue to win, so that we can unlock Flawless to still make big plays across the jungle, and he is Camille. Those level 2 ganks are potent, those level 6 ganks just as much.
And remember that for the side of Rogue Warriors, they're still undefeated in the LPL. Not just in the sets they've picked up, but they haven't dropped a single game yet. They've been looking very good. They're going to try and continue their streak so far. Join the likes of teams like EDG, who haven't dropped the series just yet, and remain the only 100% win team. Now another change in their strategy. SMLZ is going towards the Vladimir. We heard it from Crisp that Rogue Warriors do put a lot of their eggs in the bottom lane basket, and it was the same case for Spring Split as well. This time SMLZ on another carry champion, but one that busts up the damage that comes out from the rest of his teammates as well, paired up with a Karma.
Yeah, so decent control in that bot lane 2v2, but for the side of FPX, it's more than just the bottom lane. They have got the Ashe and Tahm Kench to defuse or to push or control, maybe even just equalize against their opponents. But that Ashe arrow can go elsewhere, that Tahm Kench ultimate. And Abyssal Voyage themselves to the middle lane if they would like. They've got a lot of possibilities here with a Mega Gnar. And with 1-3-1s, Aurelia, Taliyah walls even. They've just got playmaking potentially everywhere. And Ashe is that major engage tool, that major facilitator to let it happen.
Lots of ways for them to engage. Let's see if they're able to get the jump onto the Rift. Game number 2. We expose the fan from the side of FunPlus Phoenix. Now it's Rogue Warriors' turn.
Only one of them wanted to be exposed this time around, though, Fish.
Cheeky wave to the camera.
The FPX fan just... Oh, God, he's back.
Show my lighter! What the heck?
That's great. Oh, yeah, dance. Wiggle.
Get the boogie on.
Oh, and now we're back to SMLZ. There's definitely a joke that I don't know here. We need Clement.
Deal with it.
That's all you need.
Literally.
Because top lane's actually a place that I want to look at, Fish.
Okay.
We don't often get a chance to see Gnar. And a lot of the expectations is that playing Gnar in a bruiser meta is one of the hardest things to do. Traditionally, they lose to a lot of bruisers up there. Mundo's a tank, however. So Mundo doesn't hard win. Though he goes where he pleases, he can't just go up to a Gnar and have the best experience. You can see the airy start there. He's going to try and poke out his opponent. Try and do as much damage as he can with auto attacks as well as the boomerang. So that means early pressure and control is something that he wants to exert over his opponent. And if Rogue Warriors play a very bottom-centric style, if that is the expectation of FPX, then he should have a pretty good time up there in that 1v1.
We'll keep track of that top lane matchup because it's quite rare to see a Gnar that's not being played by 957, but if there was anyone else, it'd probably be Gimgoon that picks up an unorthodox champion, taking a page out of WE's book. Flawless started on his red buff, moved straight down towards the blue buff. Neither Scuttle Crab has been taken just yet. Mid lane matchup, cool. Going for the Aurelia pick. Doinby picking up the Kled again. The only player to do so in the mid lane for the LPL.
And this isn't your standard Kled that we saw from the EDG set just prior. This is going to be one of those Kleds that doesn't have a Fiddlesticks backing it up. Instead, it's going to be a Vladimir and a Karma. They move very fast.
Yeah, but look at the team that's going to be running at FPX. Kled starting it, Mundo, Camille, Vladimir, Karma. That's a bit scary.
It's super scary, for sure. It's just not the same Wombo type of thing. It just goes extremely quickly to close distance. And that's why I wouldn't coin this team as a raw... You missed that cannon. That's actually devastating. I wouldn't coin it as a 5v5. This is actually a very overextended Gnar, by the way, even though the vision spots him.
Spots out Flawless, so he doesn't go for the gank until Talia was waiting nearby as well. We just saw the runes being picked up by Doinby as well. Press the attack. If you want to go check out what the rest of them were, going for the Resolve Tree second. You can use those to ruin all my solo queue games.
Died. This is very good timing.
Trying to jump behind Gimgoon, but Dr. Mundo wants to farm instead. No stun coming out of Flawless, just a bit of damage onto Gimgoon.
You take damage like that, of course, it's going to be a Doran's Blade. Mid lane has to be careful.
Dangerous. The shove doesn't connect though. Zingy will still get the slow coming out from red buff, and Doinby's perfectly fine. Still has Scarl just in case.
But it's not a teleport mid laner fish. It is still just going to be the Ignite. He doesn't have control of mid lane anymore. Potion has to be used. But we're seeing Doran's shields everywhere from the side of Rogue Warriors. They want to sustain through. They want to outlast their opponents in lane. Perhaps find a chance to give Flawless that entryway to gank, but he hasn't found it at all. So he starts to fall behind to a Talia, you would have to expect.
Except for SMLZ, he's like, I want my Dark Seal. Please give that to me. I'm happy in the bottom lane with my refillable potion as well. Trying to collapse onto Cool now. Flawless jumping in, flashes, but the only flash from Cool keeps him safe. Ignite used as well to try and take down the mid laner from FPX.
Great flash from Cool to ensure that he stays alive. Of course, it does get traded with Flawless, but better to respect and assume that he's going to flash than not at all. So it's a good trade in the end. You can see the damage traded back between mid laners means that Cool wants to recall. However, he has the teleport, so things get worse for Doinby right now. He's going to have to go back himself.
And he has a 10 CS lead before even teleporting back into the lane. Talia's still waiting there as well. And already Aurelia going for another aggressive play. Hawkshot's going to spot out Camille moving away from the Raptor camp, but we'll head back to base. Doinby's going to do the exact same thing. Not level 6, so he can't charge his way back into the lane, and Cool will get a good push here, which actually denies Doinby.
He doesn't want to recall, but it's not even a cannon wave, so nothing really goes to plan here for Doinby. He'll be fine in terms of health. There's going to be no pressure of a dive, but it does mean that Cool gets free time. And does he just go deep with his wards here? There's a control ward he can place at the red buff, which is what I would expect.
Level 5 on Mouse.
The question is, past that ward, does he dive?
He's going to be able to meet Flawless. Flawless, you level 3, jump away, no! It's a scary blade dancing woman.
There was an Aurelia there. That does actually, as an indication of Flawless, whilst it was a bit awkward for him, indicates that his jungle's warded. He knows fully well that there's going to be vision up there. He's been spotted. Talia is now free to take the scuttle and grow a more sizable advantage for himself, complement to that mid-control Cool had. But at the same time, the ward should get cleared. The control should not persevere.
Yep, keeps Mouse happy in the top lane. He can continue to go about his investments in business deals. Level 6 will be picked up by Dr. Mundo as well. Hello.
Kled target selection. Throwing me for a loop.
He wasn't farming very well.
Yeah, he's missed cannons and minions by hitting the wrong ones.
It's just Doinby.
Can't say that.
Super carry Doinby needs to miss a few to, you know, make him want to work harder for the next one. Karma being eaten up here, Kahlua being slowed down and ignited, but just wanted to stop Elevik's base. But here comes Kled, charging in, gets the knockback, jumps on top of it, gets the first one, and gets away from the flick as well. Great flash from Doinby.
Very clean from the Kled. Kahlua does get ignited and survives with the smallest amount of health. Chooses to use the empowered Q to get damage down just before the Kled arrives. They get themselves the kills, they get out. Very nicely done. There's no response from FunPlus Phoenix. Cool was just walking down river.
So scary coming out from Kahlua as well. This is the man that always holds SMLZ back, tries to protect him, or doesn't hold him back in terms of making him bad, but keeps him on a leash. Being a bit aggressive here, almost pays for it. The gank comes out from Doinby, capitalizes on FPX trying to return. Gets first blood onto the mid lane. Doinby needed that as well. He was falling behind.
Absolutely. He's got the Tiamat from that kill also. Goes back to base, gets it, can run in. So he's got more wave control in mid. A lot of Kleds will go towards the Phage first, but when you're a mid laner, Tiamat much better because you can control the mid wave and you can roam more effectively. And that's what's absolutely what you need as a Kled, right? You want accessibility into other lanes to utilize that ultimate.
But he's still a level behind Cool. Well, finally catches up in experience, so he's level 7 as well. Flawless at level 5, but that's matched by Singy at the moment. Chilling Smite being picked up by Talia. Trying to slow down the enemies, get that flick a bit easier. Doinby gets a good push in here. Cool's forced to move over to blue buff. Gonna pick that up for himself because Singy was able to steal away the blue buff, the Rogue Warriors side of the map.
Yeah, and of course having a blue buff on your Aurelia in the middle lane does mean you can match the Tiamat wave clear. You actually run out of mana quite often as Aurelia if you're sitting there just spamming your spells to push mid. And in order to push mid, you have to use a lot of spells. So now he's got that blue buff. A pretty good stead in that middle lane, but Doinby's absolutely on the trot everywhere around the rift. I assume that thing trots.
Let's go! Do your trot! Raz will know.
Why would Raz know?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
He barely knows what Skarl is sometimes.
Skarl is a Dracolops.
Not a dragon?
No, he's a Dracolops.
What the heck is a Dracolops?
It's the species of Skarl.
I thought he's a lizard.
He's
like
a
gecko.
Dracolops. He's 100. I googled it when he first came out. I don't even know why.
You put googly eyes on your Skarl wallpaper,
Yeah,
but that's
I literally googled
it. Gonna try and collapse to the core. Ultimate keeps him locked in. Doinby's gonna try and look at FPX going for the fight. Arrow from downtown connects, and the first kill goes over to Doinby, but Ash picks one back up. They join the fight and they turn things around. FPX collapse too quickly. 2 kills to the shotgun.
And that's exactly what FPX are looking towards. The Tahm Kench, the Ash, the engage tools of the team. When Rogue Warriors come towards them, they're quicker to the punch, and you can see that it's dead bodies. We're trading now turrets. Kahlua and SMLZ not going to be fast to push. It's a Karma and a Vladimir. FPX far faster.
They're going to try and do what they can to at least trade turrets 1 for 1. Already getting good damage onto these, but giving up on the fact that it will be FPX to get the first turret, and crucially, the mid lane outer turret as well.
And they smartly give the solo gold to LWX. I was worried for a second that the 3 of them would go towards it, but they get it a wave ahead of their opponent, so they're able to afford the time to walk away and give solo gold to LWX. Now setting themselves up nicely, FPX to stay within the game. And of course it's Rogue Warriors that kick this one off. You can see Flawless does get stunned. Cool doesn't have the stun available, however, after that point, so he inevitably will fall. Nice work from Doinby to secure that one, Ignite use, but now quickly LWX and Crisp got here. You could see Kahlua was in the river, but he barely crested the Dragon Pit.
Teamwork coming off from FPX was OP.
Oh, we're
but
charging
here's another
bottom.
charge. Look at Skarl roll around, looking for Cool. SMLZ, he's just so fast. Can't stop this Vladimir. Cool gets the ultimate coming out from Vladimir. Throws out his own stun, dodged out by the Sanguine Pool, but he's just running towards turrets. Gonna try and dash around towards a couple of minions.
Death. Is it an execute or is it a kill? Is the only game we have left to
Is
play.
it real
Flawless
life?
though.
Or is it fantasy? Not even gonna be a turret.
Nope, just the hook shot to be seen. But look, FPX, they're trying to make the trades. They acknowledge that their mid laner Cool, who once again, between games, finds himself caught in a side lane, is still going to die.
Oh.
So they try and make the trades.
You just treat him like a proxy farming Singe and let him run into the enemy base. But FPX try to take advantage of this. They will get a Rift Herald for themselves. Gold now dead even between the two teams. 1 Dragon to Rogue Warriors, a Cloud Dragon at that, but Rift Herald to FPX.
This is the first time we actually get to see top lane, I think, from level 1. I'm sure it was a interesting time to be up there as a Mundo.
Gimgoon's done well. Look at Mouse's turret. It's below 1/3 of its hit points.
Yeah, the Airy Gnar. Of course, in Mini Gnar, he's susceptible to damage, but he has a lot of pressure against those tanks like we mentioned before. So, has been doing very well for himself. You can see that reflected through the turret like you mentioned. Ultimately, though, I doubt he's going to be able to get the turret killed if Mundo starts to get those items completed. And he's got some wave clear now with the Barmy Cinder. And he's got that chain vest on top of it. So very difficult to actually remove.
Ooh.
Nice puddle. More wondering why the ult was thrown at all, but it was still a nice puddle to dodge.
Singed and Vladimir. There's two champions that SMLZ should never be allowed to play because they laugh. Something you will never actually see SMLZ do. I do hope that one day he wins.
That'd be very funny to watch him play Singed, wouldn't it?
Yes. I do hope that one day they win an LPL title so we can actually see if there is any form of emotion coming out of SMLZ. He's another robot in the league. iBoy was the first one. We don't know if SMLZ can pass the Turing test because he won't take one. Doesn't speak.
We know that he's prone to emotion, though. We've seen him check Twitch chat after his games to, you know, to see what everyone thought of his performances. Doinby now found Cool.
Well, it's Cool found Doinby. Oh wow, that's a lot of damage coming out from Kled. Tom Kent getting into the bottom lane as well. Crisp is there. He's got his biceps ready, but just waddles back.
Once again, though, the Tahm Kench is here right on time. If anything was to go awry, he would be there to ensure his mid laner this time would survive. Last time he was going from bottom towards mid, still able to make those plays successfully. LWX and Crisp have honestly looked decent as the 2v2 in bottom lane goes.
Puppet Master Cool, making sure that FPX move around the map in the right directions. I mean, the games have looked promising from FPX, but they just can't clean up their strategy.
Yeah, to me, a lot of the problems in that first game was that they were just hard forced against and their composition really struggled to deal with it. You know, they were a slow setup, get the Nocturne ult in style of comp, and this time around it's a lot more rounded. They are able to make the force with the Ashe if they choose. They've got split push if they want with Cool. And the difference between games here is that, oh god.
That's an ignite, but Bear Trap on the rope doesn't connect. He still goes over the wall with charge underneath the turret. Doinby gets the kill. Good stun coming up from Cool, but see you, mate. Doinby's going to jump over the wall. Scarl's going to run away, you stupid cowardly lizard. Leaving me all alone. But Doinby still gets the kill, and flashy at that.
Kalua's got his back. Doinby, I mean, even if the Bear Trap on a rope doesn't connect, he's far enough ahead that he's got the damage, the Phage to connect, and the double dash that he can get over walls. It's so hard to flash away from a Kled once he's got that first eye in on you. So gets the kill, finds Sinyi, and a difference still being forged here by Rogue Warriors through their constant forward movements, using vision so aggressively. They don't place a lot of it. It's not widespread. It's not always going to be control wards, but if they know they have it and you don't, find them waiting around a corner.
It almost feels like these two teams just want to run at each other, though. So Rusty LWX has the arrow available. Chris can bring people into backline. Singy can separate the team, and Na's always looking for an ultimate. Rogue Warriors doing the exact same thing, though, with this charge.
I feel like you're mostly correct, but I don't get that same feeling from the top half of FPX. You know, I don't feel like anyone other than LWX and Chris want to run at people. Crisp is using his ult to save people because they're getting caught, not because they're going forwards. LWX is absolutely the aggressor. He is the one saying, we're going, firing arrows point blank at Vladimir. Though they're not connecting, I respect that he's going for those plays.
Is that how they start these fights and potentially how they win the game? Throwing out arrows, looking for a pick and starting a fight that way? Because Rogue Warriors, if arrows aren't thrown at them, they're just going to charge at FPX.
I mean, there's another way they could engage fights, and that is by Talia's wall blocking people off. So you can actually force summoner spells before the Ashe Arrow or funnel them into an Ashe Arrow. There's opportunities there for them. And so far, the only thing they've really utilized... Get back here.
Ah, he's angry.
Fortunately, not a appropriate Herald usage. Was just timed out, so you don't want to discredit FPX for that one. They just didn't find time to set up. Couldn't put it mid lane. Mid was already dead. I would have preferred if it was in Mundo's lane top, but he was jungling bottom, so he just used it when it was about to expire.
Thought that would have made sense, throwing it to the top lane even from base. Kimgo takes down the turret naturally. Wouldn't have been too bad if he got some help. Tommy wants to kill everyone. Look at this.
He's just impossible to deal with, you know? Like, no one's going to be able to chunk through his health bar. You're never going to dismount him. There's not enough damage from Cool unless he commits to the ultimate, gets resets on the Q. So sitting in this 1-3-1 style setup is working favorably for Rogue Warriors if Doinby continues to be a serial nuisance.
Making Cool's Irelia look like a peasant at the moment. Black Cleaver shredding through all the armor. Tony Force not doing too much against Kled. It's a happy camper in the bottom lane. Hardaby going to try and use the pressure that's been created in that bottom lane to take another elemental for themselves. Ocean Dragon's their target. No contest comes out of FPX.
Target well and truly secured. There's no Baron on the opposite side. We're only 16 minutes into this game. Doinby finally shows a bit of reservation. Dashes backwards to dodge the stun when there was a Talia.
You can do that?
Surprisingly, yes, he used it that way also. He doesn't have the flash, so there will be times where he has to show respect. And that is actually a major part of the point that we said before about Rogue Warriors with vision. Doinby tries his best to play super smart around that vision control. Mid.
SMLZ taking a lot of damage. LPX holding on to the arrow, but once bitten, twice shy. It was dodged by SMLZ earlier, and LPX just shows who's boss without using that ultimate.
A much better trade this time from LWX. The game of chicken is well and truly on if SMLZ used the W. The arrow was coming straight afterwards. They would have found that kill. So not going to be happening. He'll be able to sustain, but you can see how much damage this Ashe is able to put down. Starting to get scary.
You can also see the use of lethal tempo in Ashe as well. That boost of attack speed when he attacks the champion with the focus coming out from his Q. Shredding through SMLZ.
A lot of things at play when a Vladimir goes up against an Ashe. Even using the Blade of the Ruin King active to slow him down, ensuring the Karma speed boost wasn't enough to disengage. But that's a big cooldown.
Throw out the Hawk shot, fake that it's an arrow. We've seen that in the LPL already. Didn't do anything, but it was funny.
That's a look in at mid lane from Doinby for a second there.
Just a look, blast cone's over.
Look at the vision that FPX have on the bottom side of mid. They've acknowledged that Doinby is the one split pushing. He is going bottom lane, but he's also the Ignite user. So they can catch him out of position on the rotation if he walks up that river. So I really like this idea from FPX. The vision that they've got placed down, very intentional. The question is, can it stop the charge?
Doinby doesn't care at the moment. Seeing he's waiting to collapse into the bottom lane, but Flawless is waiting for any form of a gank. They didn't spot him out. They left the tri-brush before he revealed himself, and Doinby's a happy camper.
Ah! Makes a lot of noises. Damn, clever.
I'm upset that Scarl doesn't make more noises.
Speaking of, what are you doing?
Having a bit of a dance. Oh, we still got him. Ignite. And a flash.
That's what you get for emote spamming. Cool. Unfortunately, you're made to be a
thumbs
fool.
up.
That's where you dab penguin fish. That's the one time that we condone the usage of a dab penguin.
Now he's fighting Krugs. This is a lot of fun to watch. Seeing he's going to get down here as well and try and take that away. Gets it.
He's pressuring two people here. He's bringing down a second person. You can see that Doinby has genuine kill threat on his opponents.
How do Rogue Warriors capitalize on that? Because, yes, Doinby is getting a lot of pressure onto these two, but he's not getting anything out of it.
You're wanting to see mid or top lane actually be a point of focus from them. And currently they were grouping mid. They had the Camilla around the middle lane, and Doinby, or rather Mouse, was by himself top lane as the Mundo looking for a potential push. Mundo doesn't pan out as intended. Top lane turret still standing for FPX. So you can continue this idea, I feel like, for Rogue Warriors, absolutely. And a lot of it may actually just be in an offensive style of defense. You know, if you draw pressure down there, then they can't make the plays that FPX want to do on the other side of the map. The risk of this is you're prolonging the game state by a significant amount against an AD carry composition.
Best defense is a great offense. It's the strategy coming out from Rogue Warriors. But eventually, their champions have to go back to base. Cled's going to do just that, so is Camille. Good timing, however, with Infernal Drake spawning in about 2.5 minutes. Baron buff being online, but Gimgoon fancies his chances against Dr. Mundo. Mouse, he's so tanky, but there is an Ignite ticking. Forced to flash away. That was from the Executioner's calling, coming out from Gimgoon.
Don't know if they want to be up here still. Gimgoon's playing with fire when there's a Kled ultimate that can get them in.
Mundo's got business meeting and he's trying to attend. Going where he pleases, slows him down, and everyone's up here, Rusty. Let's see a big fight. Oh, SMLZ gets them all with the ultimate. Doinby's going to try and charge into the backlines as well. Cool, he's stuck. That ultimate does absolutely nothing. And Flawless is not done yet. He wants everybody dead. Ziggy tries, but it's not going to happen. Ace picked up by Rogue Warriors.
And would you believe it, 20 minutes into the game, they win a fight right next to the Baron. The one time that FunPlus Phoenix decide to find a pick, decide to be aggressive, it is completely met with resistance. And they best them in the middle of battle. Rogue Warriors get the Baron and the fight.
They tried to kill Dr. Mundo with his ultimate available, not enough chain CC and damage. Bites them back and bites them back hard.
And you see the Nara ultimate was used. And Talia, while she has a lot of utility, is not going to get the kill. Executioner's calling reduces his healing. But the second he's out of combat, Mundo is still Mundo and starts to sprint at Gimgoon. So suddenly it buys time. A lot of kiting here from Gimgoon. Trying really hard to get that 3-hit passive off. He's going to get caught. So suddenly everyone's here, teleports around. But look at SMLZ. big play, finds everyone, pretty much wins the fight by himself, and then the reinforcements arrive, and all they have to do is apply damage to the remnants of the health bars. And then a nice little game of chicken from Flawless at the end here. No chicken sounds were made in the act, but they were now, I guess.
That was Scarl.
What the cluck were you thinking?
That was Scarl. Not me. Rogers now have Baron to work with. 3,500 gold lead as well.
Oh, he's on.
Oh no, poor little Talia.
Oh,
just taken down so low. Jump back in Flawless, low sweep, cuts him with his knife legs. Now jumping over for a game of knifey spoonie with Chris. Spits LWX back out. He's now stuck in the Hextech ultimatum. One more tick of damage would have been enough. Rogue Warriors can't find it onto the spot, but Mundo got business beating top lane. He go where he please. Gimku goes mega. No! Solo kill picked up by Mouse.
Doesn't get the Mega Dark. Imcoon feeling real sorry for himself. This is one of those moments where you're like, why is there a Mundo in my game? And Mininar just dies to him because he's started to build the Bramble Vest. He's got 3 items, or 2.5 items. He's super strong at the moment. Rogue Warriors get the Baron, win everywhere at once.
I believe that was a thumbs up coming out from Doinby as well, as 2 turrets fall for Rogue Warriors. Sieging the mid lane inner turret as well. That should fall shortly after. Infernal Dragon picked up by Rogue Warriors. 3 Elemental Dragons being picked up, and FPX looking for a fight.
Wow.
No, stop it.
We are seeing some sick reaction time from our AD carries down in that bottom lane.
The 2 robots today have looked really good.
They really have.
Shun P with the aimbot arrows.
Oh, we have to watch this? That's alright, it's worth it.
Briefcase!
You got to feel for Gimgoon more than anything else in this situation. He doesn't even need to throw briefcases. He does it for good measure. Hello.
Chris, is he going to die? Ultimate is on. SMLZ in a lot of trouble, however. Gets the kill, gets the health back as well. Vladimir! Just healing things, Rusty, just healing things.
Yeah, just Vlad with the Karma in the support role to protect him. So they get themselves the kills. Inhib soon to follow. Baron's still there, and bottom lane has been prepared.
Flawless is already down there. That was a 4-on-5. Rogue Warriors still come out on top. Another base, part of the base, broken by Rogue Warriors. Flawless jumps in. Slows down Gimgoon. SMLZ looking for it. The Gnar backwards into the Hextech ultimate. It doesn't matter. Another kill going to Mouse. Rogue Warriors just have to get towards that Nexus.
They just get the kills, and now that there's 3 dead, 2 more seconds on the Tahm Kench, but still no one here to resist. Nexus is going to become bare.
Not much that FPX can do anymore as Rogue Warriors, a clinical game number 2, 14-2 in kills, continue their undefeated streak in the LPL. Not a single game dropped, asserting dominance, and they look good doing so.
We still find ourselves, Rogue Warriors, not a single map, simply because they are very good at forcing. This meta seems to complement them super nicely, and you give them an opportunity. That's all it takes. Through this game, we saw such a reserved, such a calm start to the mid-game. Once again, nothing happening, just calm laning. AD carry goes mid lane. Once again, we find FPX just putting LWX there and saying, we'll hit the arrows, we'll make the plays. And they don't make anything. The one time they try, one time they give an opportunity to their opponents, game's over.
The only 2 teams left for Rogue Warriors to take down their conference, WE and EDG. That's it. They're looking for the clean sweep in the first round of round robin in group stage. And then they'll take on the other conference during cross-conference. But so far, great start. FunPlus Phoenix, they looked okay. We saw that brawl heavy comp. We saw the strategy come out for that first match. Second game looked better as well, but torn apart by the strategy FPX threw at them.
Yeah, of course, next week we'll get to see Rogue Warriors take on EDG, the last game of the week on Sunday. It'll be one to look forwards to. Mark it in your calendar. It's going to be super hype, but for now, Rogue Warriors and EDG both get to finish those back-to-back 2-0s. Though one looked a little bit cleaner than the other, just quietly.
But they'll be happy nonetheless. 2-0, still a 2-0. Clean up the mistakes they made, moving into their next match, and those are the ones that matter. WE looking better recently, but EDG are on form as well.
We've only seen the bruises from Doinby in the mid lane this split so far, and Flawless also showing that he can play the Camille quite nicely, get those ganks off, and work very well with him. But most of this game to me, when you look at it, was simply Doinby drawing pressure, bringing 2 people down to his lane, just opening up the map every single time.
I mean, if it's not broken, you don't have to fix it. And Rogue Warriors' composition has shown that time and time again. They'll go for Aatrox mid lane, it works for them so frequently. If that's banned out, give me Clyde.
Yeah. I mean, above all of that, I think we've just discovered the recipe for taking down FPX. Cool seemed completely out of sorts in this set to what we expect from him, and a lot of the game plan was keeping Cool down. That first game he was on Lulu, caught out of position once the game was over, but he was still on a champion like the Lulu, something that's not empowered to win the lane, especially not against an Aatrox. And then into the second game, he's stuck on a side lane as Aurelia against a Kled, and he can't fight a Kled as Aurelia. It's more of a burst-style champion, and you don't want to have to waste the ult on someone that can just dismount and run away.
Well, the recipe for success for Rogue Warriors definitely tastes good as they're still undefeated. Let's send it back to our analyst desk to break down that series.
Thanks, Fish. Looking good.
I'm gonna unbutton down. People are just gonna have
See,
to
I
take
thought
it.
about going the other direction. I was like, I can't go the other direction, so that's fine. Again, a Mazda comp, or the Zoom comp. I guess we should call it a Mercedes comp, really, in the LPL. Coming out of Rogue Warriors there. It's not the first time they've played this, and it definitely won't be the last time. Echoing the casters, you know, if Doinby doesn't get his hands on Aatrox, he's going for the Kled, and they just complement it so beautifully. Even throwing a Karma on top this time.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch. And the best thing about it, they talk about at least it putting down Cool, because Cool was on the Aurelia. His early game was proper. He took a lot of pressure, and he was able to get out of lane fine. And then he goes into a side lane, and they run him down every time. So it attacks side lanes so well with multiple members, and FPX didn't really have anything on the opposite side of the map to really respond with. So this is just a game of Rogue Warriors. We're definitely catching FPX with their pants down.
And I feel like when we first started watching Rogue Warriors in the beginning of the split, it was, okay, Rogue Warriors are going to continue to play around SMLZ. It's going to be about the ADC picks. It's going to be possibly like the Kog'Maws, the Lucians, things like that. And now suddenly SMLZ, he's on the Vladimir, he's on the Heimer, he's on the Karth. This like complete turn where Rogue Warriors is now slotting beautifully into this meta.
They're definitely showcasing that this is their meta. I know a lot of the characters, if you look towards top lane, Mouse is really just stuck to his own pool. But it's Doinby that's really flexing, that he's going back to Kled and showing that, you know what, you're not going to play Aatrox, I'll do it myself. And if you ain't playing Mundo, maybe that's for the future. But, like, that's fun to see. I didn't expect the SMLZ one, because he did start the split with a lot of the core 80 carries with the Lucian that we even saw in game 1. And then immediately in this one, he just showcases that he can play the Vladimir. You already talked about the mages that he's willing to play, so you're right. It seems like that bottom side of the map is really wide open.
And it was just a repeated win condition from this point. We see the composition, it's going to run fast and it's going to run hard at you. If you want to call it the Zoom comp, the Rocket comp, I had a couple of different names written down. Yeah, I had Zoomies, the Vroom comp, Rocket comp, Bullet comp.
There's a lot. I'm sad that I didn't participate in this.
We'll workshop this one, but it works like this.
The Sonic comp.
And you saw it again. Sonic is a good one. Kled Pop Soul, everyone runs in, and around 20 minutes in the game, that's when everything cracked open for Rogue Warriors. It felt like it was a quiet game, and then suddenly it was over.
And that's what it's really scary when it comes to Rogue Warriors, because a lot of it is waiting, biding their time. The last game wasn't that. Game 1 was literally just skirmish as much as possible, but that's because they built for that. That was their composition around just kind of getting as many skirmish with around the Elise as much as possible. Game 2 is completely different. You're right. Felt like they were searching for plays around mid lane, but it was FPX that was playing safely enough in doing so. So I thought FPX actually had a good early game. It was just upsetting that didn't really pan out, and it just snowballed that quickly.
And the core of the composition obviously was Doinby, and he will be the man of the match, MVP for the series. So back-to-back MVPs in the 2-0 victory of Rogue Warriors over FPX.
There we go, 30% damage of his team. He just went in every single time. Only died once because, you know what, he had Kled to always just kind of run out there.
And he's Dark Doinby on this graphic, but we do have a special interview. We've got Super Carry Doinby standing by in the wings. He's Light Doinby over there, and Clement is going to be sitting next to him. I think I can actually see them getting ready, giving the nod.
Looking all pretty and stuff, so I hope to see what they're going to be asking about him.
Exactly. So Clement, let's hear from Doinby himself.
Charge! 哎，你不是说要跟我一起比吗？你要说啥呀？哦，对不起，对不起。Okay, so sitting here with me is the 5-time MVP from Rogue Warriors, Doinby. I originally did plan with him to go charge at the same time, but I forgot the countdown, so that's totally on me. First question I have to ask for you is, why the Kled? Why the Aatrox? What's so special about these champions?
我觉得这英雄的话是那个剑魔吧，先说剑魔吧。剑魔的话，因为前期就推线也很快，他是主一的嘛，然后那个一技能推线也很快，然后就那个剑魔的 W 可以回血。然后科列的话，因为科列我比较喜欢这个英雄，之前我 S6的时候，我最多玩的英雄就是科列，就排位。 是因为我刚出来的时候就一直玩这个英雄，就很喜欢玩。然后之前就我在京东的时候也用过一把中单克烈，但输了嘛。但这版本的话，感觉很适合这个克烈吧，因为带线也很强。
OK， 我也是主克烈的。All right. So Doinby's answer is that first of all, let's talk about the Aatrox. The Aatrox can actually shove the lane pretty hard. You do the Emax, so he does have control in terms of that, and his W also tops him off in terms of HP. So very strong laning champion. As for the Kled, it's more of a personal favorite. I've been playing this champion since 2016, and he always brings me happiness. I played him on Jingdong. Unfortunately, didn't get any wins over there, but he kind of fits the meta this time around. He can push the side lanes very well, and he's also very good in terms of coming into the team fights. With that out of the way, I do want to ask you about Rogue Warriors' 8 straight victories in the Western Conference so far. Can you kind of tell us like what you think about your victories? How does it motivate you? How do you see this this accomplishment?
首先就8连胜了嘛，就肯定很开心嘛。但我觉得是因为我们之前德贝的时候，我们成绩是很差嘛，所以我们德贝输完之后，输给那个 BLG 之后，我们回来都每个人都很努力，就很努力，很努力。是因为当时输的很惨，所以我们为了我们就 LPL 的很好的成绩嘛 ，LPL 上很好的成绩，所以我们都很努力了。
Doinby's answer is we were definitely very happy about this success so far. 8 straight victory is no small task, but we were primarily motivated coming out of Demacia Cup. We had a bad showing there, lost to BLG, the eventual finalists. So when we came back, we all made a pact for ourselves that we were going to work harder, and we did in fact work much harder for this overall. My final question for you, Doinby, is that you seem to be like the heart of the team. You're always so happy. You're brimming with happiness. Can you kind of tell us like what the atmosphere on the team actually is, because you're sitting next to SMLZ, who never smiles, shows no emotion. Like how is he taking this so far?
他不是这种人，就是你们是误会的。他也很喜欢烧，然后就只是在那个后台上，然后就打训练赛的时候，或者那个比赛赢了之后，他也会烧，但镜头可能不给他这种，就他也很喜欢烧。
Okay, so SMLZ is actually, he isn't what you guys think he is. He actually does like to take a laugh and have silly moments as well, but unfortunately he's not really willing to do it in front of camera. So in the backstage, he was smiling at their 8 straight victories as well. Thank you very much, Doinby. You've made my job incredibly easy. I'm surprised at how good at languages you are. That's the interview so far. Back to you, Frosk.
He speaks English better than I do.
What happened? I honestly think Clement just forgot to translate it and came upon a surprise. Like a really good surprise.
I just feel it's a giant conspiracy theory. He tells us that SMLZ loves to smile, that he's laughing all the time backstage, and then...
what we need to do, put in like secret cameras. Just hidden cameras.
Just catch the smile?
Everywhere.
Look at that man! Look at his face! That is his face that he makes all the time, and Doinby saying that he's the life of the party, and then suddenly Doinby understands English and then just like immediately goes for the translation. A Korean player understanding English and then communicating in Chinese. So truly a master of more than just the Aatrox and the Kled, but also languages. Thank you so much, Super Carry Doinby. We do need to go through some housekeeping and check the standings, because we have now completed week 2 of the LPL.
There's a lot they're not telling us, but let's take a look at this. So yeah, immediately Rogue Warriors at the top of the standing only because they played more games, but I'll take that. I'll take it. 4-0, just above their team, EDG.
And we had questions, Rogue Warriors' strength of schedule was a very easy run out of the gate for them, but they've taken down Snake, they've now taken down FPX, and as Rusty was saying, mark it in your calendar, they're coming for that true first place and looking at Edward Gaming.
I really love the part of the interview when they were talking about immediately out of their poor performance at Demacia Cup, it really took them, really hit them hard. So immediately you can see it in their play. They may be playing some of the same picks, but they're coming in harder, and it seems like a lot of it comes down to the communication just surrounding Flawless. Flawless really comes in seamless with them. So it feels so good to watch this team play right now.
And let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's matches, because reminder, the LPL never really stops. But it will be the start of week 3, and it's JD versus LGD over in Hangzhou, and then in Shanghai, Invictus Gaming versus Suning.
Ooh, and that's a good one.
You know why it's a good one?
Why?
Because guess who's back?
No, really?
He's back, baby. The Shy is back. It was announced on Invictus Gaming's Weibo that he will be returning. So if you want to see Xiao Al versus the Shy, two of the premier top laners,
Yes.
number 1 and number 2, it's going down.
And we talked about it in the podcast. I had currently Xiao Al as number 1, only because the Shy was not there. So we get to finally see the Shy react to his new surroundings. It seems like there's a new king, but he's just saying, no, I'm back. We'll see if he can kick him off the... I want to see what he actually ends up playing. Does he just go back to the same Aatrox picks?
It just goes back to kicking ass, Raz. So if you want to get over the mountain, you're going to see it tomorrow. Now, that said, thank you from everyone tonight. It was a long day. Our producers, our casters, Doimby, and especially Clement. Thank you, Clement. You're standing just out of camera range right there. But from all of us here at the LPL, thank you and good night.